Welcome to the Abingers. I'm Hunt. I'm here with Liz.
Hello.
And we are discussing today in our inaugural episode, the Kominsky Method on Netflix. All right, I want to say this. Okay, so I'm not calling this a review as much as just I'm just in praise of this show. I love this show. I am not a network sitcom kind of guy.
I am a network sitcom kind of gal, strangely enough.
But this, I would say this is the first great Chuck Lorre show.
Oh, hell yes. I'm not a Chuck Lorre. I should say this. I am a Thursday night NBC ride or die loyalist. Pretty much if it ever survived more than 2 seasons on Thursday night on NBC, I can recite most of the episodes to you.
Is this what Chuck Lorre always wanted to do and just couldn't because he had to adhere to network standards?
I think it very well may be because, yes, he had to adhere to network standards. He started out as the writer on Roseanne, right? Like, he really pissed her, like all that shit that went down a jillion years ago. Mm-hmm. And since then, though, I think all of his stuff has been, and I should, I have this thing called the internet that I could look it up, but I think he was pretty much tethered to CBS. And CBS is all about the numbers. And not even the numbers in 18 to 49. They are all about numbers, period. They know that the other stations kick their asses that way. They go for the old fart, easy laugh.
Yeah.
Procedural. And he did very well doing that. But no, I can't imagine. But prior to Netflix, I don't see where he could have done this show because I don't even think HBO would have wanted this.
It actually kind of has an HBO feel to it. I kind of disagree with you there.
Would they have paired it with Curb? It's a hard thing. Whatever HBO does, or whatever I can think that HBO does,
no,
you have to have
old white guy shows back to back.
That's exactly it. You have to have something that will keep people around for the whole hour. That they don't think of their programming in terms of just the half hour. And I don't know what this could really pair with. But it's a show that for a lot of reasons he could have never done before because until, the last 5 years, talent of this caliber was not going to...
That's true, too.
...park it in a sitcom.
That's true, too.
Because
this is easy. This is what, eight episodes?
No, these are straight up...
Knock them right out.
Like... Alan Arkin has done some indies, but Michael Douglas is straight up movie star. I know he had his medical issues recently, but again, that he was never going to consider.
Well, TV, quote
doing
unquote,
TV.
TV never had the money to recruit people like this too, and that's what streaming is allowed. I want to start off just by talking about the title. Now, this is a buddy comedy, right?
True.
Why is the title Kominsky Method? Why are they focusing on just this guy?
Well, no, and I've taken issue with this all along. Also, any of the awards consideration that the actors have received has been in the form of Douglas as lead actor and Alan Arkin as supporting. And yes, we don't know the machinations. Is that the word? Yeah, machinations. Behind the scenes.
I don't know your big college words.
Yeah, my big college words. No, I don't know why Chuck Lorre and the actors themselves allowed for that to happen other than not wanting them to compete with each other and cancel out each other's votes. But getting back to your specific point, not mine, about the title of the show, I have no idea why they would have gone with that. Like, 2 Old Farts, I guess, was too close to 2.5 Men, but that would have worked.
The Odd Couple was already taken.
The Odd Couple was already taken.
And this is The Odd Couple.
It is, but 2 Old Farts works too.
Yeah. Yeah, that works too. That's what it is. Well, that's what The Odd Couple was. But there are scenes. You'll see scenes, like even in the opening episode of season 2.
But I think we need to analyze this question. You need to go back to the pilot. And arguably, the pilot did focus more heavily on Michael Douglas. And maybe it was a decision made as production continued to give Alan Arkin. Maybe Alan Arkin only signed up to be a supporting character in a more true sense of the word. I kind of can't imagine that.
No. You see, that's where I'm going to say you're wrong because every Chuck Lorre show is The Odd Couple. they know going in that there's going to be there's 2 stars.
Okay, I can think of 2.5 Men and Mom. I don't know.
Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But again, that morphed into more of an ensemble as the time went on.
I'm just telling you, they know going in it's a buddy comedy.
With Mom, it wasn't referring, they're both moms. So that was the Big Bang Theory. What didn't pertain specifically, that just pertained to physics in and of itself rather than physicists. Yeah, I guess he always is like the odd couple, regurgitated and regurgitated and regurgitated and re-regurgitated and whatever regurgitated.
But what I was getting at was you have scenes that feature just Sandy alone. And he'll be in the opening episode, he's sitting there on the couch, spewing some political bullshit at the TV.
Frankly, the truth is a whole lot easier to sell. It makes no sense that he would do this. I don't understand why.
Because he's a sociopath, Don. Hello?
He's trying to convince you to ignore what you
Why,
heard
for
in the
fuck's
world.
sake? Hello, Norman.
You don't have that with Alan Arkin's character.
Yes, you do.
You don't have scenes that's just him, do you?
Yes and no, in that you have his deceased wife.
Yeah.
In those scenes, and arguably that is just, while he's sharing the screen with another actor, it is a scene of by himself because he's imagining her. It just happens to be.
So you're saying there's equal character development.
Yeah,
is what
while
you're saying.
Kominsky is interacting with the television and spewing his crap, Newlander is interacting in his mind with his dead wife.
It's pronounced Zoolander.
Yes, Norman.
Is that his last name in the show?
Newlander, yeah.
Newlander?
Yeah, I admit I forgot it. I looked down at IMDb.
Okay, I know Sandy and
Yes.
I know Kominsky because that's
Yeah,
the
I
name
know
of the
Sandy,
show.
but I couldn't remember his name.
And
I
knew
wanted to
Norman,
call him Alan Arkin.
Do they ever say his name? Norman?
Yes.
Or Newlander?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, I missed that.
But no, he had his interactions with the dead wife,
Mm-hmm.
while Sandy has his interactions with the TV.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that I don't know, that we've gone back and forth on this, and my big whoop is that I don't want to disparage Michael Douglas and all of this, but Alan Arkin is a scene-stealing genius, not just in Kominsky, but in anything else I've ever seen him in. The first time I ever remember seeing him was Grosse Pointe Blank, and it was one of the, like, it was a great movie anyway for people who have yet to see it, from roughly 1 million years ago. But he's just always playing some version of himself, but it's fabulous.
But see, this is where I'm going to disagree. I don't think that he steals the scene. I think they complement each other perfectly. It's just one-liner, and they're great. He has the better one-liners.
He has much better one-liners.
But they both have great deliveries. It's fantastic.
Well, I guess it also goes to who they are, that Kominsky, Sandy, is just a loser. And Norman has been incredibly successful in life.
And that's the Odd Couple formula. And they're best friends. Which actually didn't make sense to me why Norman didn't like Sandy's daughter's boyfriend. He's kind of a loser too.
But here's the thing with that throughout the show, going back to the pilot, you always saw Norman showing great affection to Mindy. In a lot of ways, I think Mindy is the daughter that he wanted versus his own daughter, who, like, it's one of those situations, like, as the series explored it, that he kind of mistreated her. And that's putting it harshly. He didn't clearly beat her or do anything like that, but he wasn't the kind, gentle 21st century dad that everyone now aspires to be. So any of her problems now are, really like fall at his feet or his doorstep, versus Mindy, despite having a total fuck up dad, turned out to be great. Anything we've seen of Mindy, she's been responsible, kind, like sharp-witted, clever, fun. Not to say that, but she's she has the attributes that we've seen Norman value versus his own daughter. Colossal fuck up.
Oh, colossal. Colossal fuck up.
Yeah. That I think, and again, like,
do you think they see their, do you think that the two of them actually recognize their own insecurities, and that's why they gravitate towards the other one? They have something that they want.
I think
Sandy sees responsibility, sees responsibility and wants that. So
yes and no. I think a lot of it could be the inertia of having been friends with someone for so long that it started out.
He was his agent.
He
right?
was his agent. And I guess he theoretically still is, but Sandy doesn't act anymore. So it's just like an agent for.
Well, Norman doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, really.
So,
it's like, it's saying at one point, yeah, he's my lawyer, but he hasn't represented me for 40 years.
Yeah.
But they had this huge history. He introduced him to his wife. That's epic. You can't forget the person who introduced you to your wife.
Yeah.
And I think that Norman, from what we've learned and what he's told us about himself, I guess I should say, he was an angry guy at work. He was a yeller. That's how he got shit done. So in all likelihood, he really didn't make close friendships with the people in his actual office. He seemed, when we saw footage of him in the office,
or his family.
But he did. He loved and valued his wife. He just had sky high expectations for the daughter. And it's unfair that we're laying all of this on him, that for as great as she seems, the dead wife, she must have fucked up along the way too to have a kid.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just lay it all on him.
Yeah.
But they seemed like true partners in the grand scheme of things. But I think that Norman likes the simplicity of his relationship with Sandy. There's no competition there. That he can be himself without judgment. And a lot of times, yes, that is easier with people who you are not in competition with than and people you feel that are arguably beneath your position in life. That Sandy, for being, did they ever say, we got the impression he cheated on women. I don't know if we were ever told that outright. He seems like a cheater.
He admits that he did.
He did? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that part. He seems like a serial cheater.
Your mother warned me not to marry you. Said you were a lying, cheating scumbag just like your old man.
You are the worst mistake I ever made in my life.
Back at you, fucko.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he seems incredibly, like everything we've ever seen, he's been nothing but incredibly loyal and supportive of Norman.
Yeah.
Like like the dead wife, when she was dying, I bought it that he didn't go see her because he couldn't handle it, not that he was just a piece of shit.
They are each other's rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the writing. I almost feel like Chuck Lorre or somebody has to be of his age is writing this. I don't feel that your typical, graduate college, go out to LA, become a writer, you're in your 20s, 30s, whatever, before you move on to producing or whatever, you decide to do. This is not written by millennials.
I would tend to agree. Of course, what I'm looking at right now at IMDb is kind of failing me, but Chuck Lorre, it looks like, is getting all of the credits, that he may have been the head writer on every episode, which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It's almost as if Chuck Lorre is speaking through Sandy Kominsky, I think sometimes, and also Norman from time to time. But so the show is just these one-liners, fantastic one-liners, and they reference things that nobody under the age of 60 is going to know. These references are barely even Googleable. They are so obscure, and you have to be old to actually know these things. And I wonder how much ad-libbing is actually going on.
I wonder too, because Alan Arkin seems like a massive ad-libber to me. But again, I know nothing of these people personally. They are not page 6 kind of fodder as a general rule. But I can see Chuck Lorre being like, shut the fuck up and write the words on the page.
Read the words on the page.
Read the words on the page.
Yeah,
I can picture Chuck Lorre being such an egomaniac the way he got his ultimate fuck you to Charlie Sheen. Being like, damn it, no. But then again, At the same time, these are the creme de la creme, who, while he may be able to buy and sell them with his Big Bang Theory money, which is probably only second to Seinfeld money and Friends money, probably, but he has to be looking at both of these guys with the utmost respect and saying, just play, run with it, have fun.
Yeah, my thinking is also, if you're a director and your two main stars are 130 years old, how much of these lines are they remembering? And here's the beauty. The two of them, it doesn't matter what they say. Their delivery is so fantastic, so phenomenal, that it's going to sound like they read it right off a script.
I'm having my dinner.
This late? You're gonna get acid reflux.
That'll taste better than what I'm eating.
It's whose name?
You know the guy.
What guy?
The guy with the thing.
What thing?
The thing that uses to, to harvest the crops.
A tractor?
No.
Mexican people?
I don't think that's an issue because it's the way the show is shot. They have to do, 4 takes for every scene to have the camera work that way?
It's a single camera show, yeah.
Yeah, so they're doing it several times, so I'm sure at some point they've gotten the words all in there from the page. That to the extent...
You're right, they probably just take
to the
whatever's...
extent
yeah.
that they ad-lib it, it's because it was superior to the script.
The writing, and you mentioned this earlier, the writing is a little more mature than your typical, network sitcom. But when you really think about it, the show is very depressing. It is about life in your final years. The health problems, the watching. I mean, they go to funerals. They make a joke out of everything, but they go to funerals. They have medical problems. It's a depressing show.
But life in your 30s is depressing. Has anyone ever had fun at a child's birthday party? Have you ever watched your friends go through divorce?
Yeah, but
and
have
you ever watched
you have 50 years
wondering
of life.
how
These
you're going to
guys
make
could
your
be dead
mortgage
the next
payment?
day.
All of those things. Even when you're 12, your first little boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you, and it's the most devastating feeling in the entire world. All of life is depressing. I don't see that this is any more depressing than any other period. At least when an 85-year-old dies, you can look back and say, well, they had a good life.
I think you need to see somebody. All of life is not depressing.
All of life sure as shit is depressing.
Jesus.
You just have to live for the good moments. You have to be able to, there's an Indigo Girls song out there from a squillion years ago that was live, and whichever one, Emily or the other one, can't remember now, said, you have to laugh at yourself because you cry your eyes out if you didn't. And it's the truth. Those are the truest words ever. That, what is it? Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's everything in life.
And
Tragedy
the main characters definitely have time.
plus time equals comedy.
All right, can we talk about the similarities to an HBO show, Barry? And really, I can only think of one.
They both take place in acting classes.
They both take place in acting classes, and whoever created or writes these shows hates aspiring actors with a passion, and it makes for humor.
It does.
But I dare you, in both shows, name one person in either of those acting classes who's even remotely likable.
Well, that's the hard part, because I also love The Good Place, and at least two of the actors on Barry that are, one of which is a total piece of shit, whoever Janet from The Good Place plays. But yes, the aspiring actors as a group may be the worst.
Are they the worst, or is it just that producers think they're the worst? The people who create these shows are just
I'm sure their parents who are funding their lives think they're the worst too. Their siblings who have to say, Jesus fucking Christ, shut up and just pass the goddamn potatoes. Just not wanting to spontaneously slap someone 24/7.
Yeah, I can see that.
But no, aspiring actors seem the worst. But it makes me sad that both of these shows exist, because Henry Winkler is incredible on Barry, but I feel like he could just slide right into the cast of Kominsky Method, no problem.
Yes.
Yeah, what the Kominsky Method needs.
Oh my God! No,
There's like a
second
merger.
school, a second acting class that's actually in the same building.
Yeah.
And they're fighting with each other.
Yep.
You just came up with the next great,
Yep.
great series.
Season 3 combined. The Barry Kominsky Method.
I would watch the hell out of
I
it.
would watch the shit out of that. Think about all of the weird shows they do crossovers of on network television. This one makes sense.
Yeah. No, that one makes perfect
Come
sense.
on, HBO and Netflix, pull your shit together.
Oh my God. All right, that's like an hour conversation.
Oh,
right
God,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea though. Okay, we need to get this to air fast because when they take that idea, we want to get credit for it.
Yes, I do. All me.
All Liz. All right. Yes, the episodes are short and there aren't very, very many of them, but there is no dead weight. It does not lag at all. It just goes so fast, and I love that.
Well, when they released season 2 a few weeks ago, it was Christmas gift wrapping time. And I sat down with a few presents, and before I knew it, the season was over before I had finished wrapping the presents.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I was inefficient. I'm not a damn good rapper. But yes. That as I did that the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
No, that it's the fastest season ever. Because number one, it's 8 episodes. And 8 episodes of 20 minutes. Jesus. That's shorter than a Scorsese movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably per hour worked, they're probably paid very well to do this show.
I've not researched that, but I would be interested to find that out.
So another thing,
it can't be cheap to get them.
No.
But then again, they're having fun.
Do you have anything else you want to say about the plot? Because there really isn't anything.
There is no plot to speak of.
There's no plot. I don't care. For me, the show is it's comedians in cars with coffee.
Getting coffee?
The show is comedians in cars getting coffee. It's just two buddies hanging out saying funny shit.
I get that. I do like the scenes with them in cars.
All right, well, let's talk about Martin. Did you just love the bald cap?
The bald cap was so off-putting.
Yeah.
That I was constantly just staring and thinking, what the shit? Why was this creative decision made? And of course, the first thing I did was stop my rapping that I will not stop talking about clearly and grab my iPad to see, did Paul Reiser suddenly go bald overnight?
What are you talking about? It was so obviously a bald cap. That was my problem with it, was it looked so fake. Did they think it was funny?
I didn't think it looked so... I just thought it looked so stupid.
It was a decision to make him look... Because Paul Reiser is... I won't call him a leading
Paul
man,
Reiser's a good-looking older guy.
But they had to make him a doofus. His character is a doofus. Martin is a doofus. And that was their choice on how to make him a doofus. I think they also made him fatter. I
did not notice that, but I can... Yes. On reflection. Yeah, he looked a little paunchy.
Yeah. Why does Sandy like him? Because I find him very off-putting.
I think Sandy likes him because he likes Mindy for Mindy.
No, he likes him.
It just as a friend. And like someone to spend time with, or as a romantic partner for...
Oh, okay. I'm glad you finished that.
His daughter.
Yeah.
I see this as just a dad getting to know his daughter's boyfriend.
Let's move on to Robbie. Now this one...
Who's Robbie?
The grandson.
Oh, okay.
This...
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment.
Osment, right?
Osment.
Or is it Osment?
I think it's Osment. Osment.
It's a stupid last name. Whose sister is one of the idiots in the acting class.
Yeah, she lives in a van, right?
Yeah, she lives in the van. Her name's Teresa, I want to say.
That's hot. Anyway, so Robbie, the first thing that threw me about Robbie is why did it take them to the end of the second season to introduce a third generation?
They referenced him.
At that age, right? If you're like in your 80s, 70s, whatever, clear, there's going to be a third generation there. Why are we just now seeing this? Did they mention him before? I don't.
They did.
Okay.
When he was pissed off about Scientology and just her drug abuse and all that stuff, and he's like, "There's a grandson I don't know, blah blah blah," or the grandson something. But what I find off-putting, and you know how I have serious issues with this, is the fact that the daughter played by Lisa Edelstein. Lisa Edelstein is like roughly like what, about 47?
Mm-hmm.
Haley Joel Osment is what, about 30?
He's probably older than 30.
Let's see. Let's check this out. I think he's probably more like 28. Like, just because we've known him for fucking ever.
No, you're okay.
But you know how it drives me
right.
batshit crazy when it's like mathematically that can't work out.
Right.
That
But I mean, let's be honest.
It's nonsense.
You know, he put on a little weight and he looks like, you know, now that he's shaved, he looks like he could be 20, which wouldn't be that unreasonable.
Yeah, I guess so. But he also
looks young for his
said
age.
that he had been doing whatever intake job at the Scientology Center for like 10 years, and he took all that money as his back pay.
That is
so
true.
unless he went to work at
That
8.
is true. That is true.
And who knows, maybe the Scientologists
Actually,
are big on child labor.
Haley Joel Osment went to work much younger than 8.
He
Just so you
did.
know.
He did. That he did.
I don't even know what the first thing he did was. He was in. Was he in that?
Sixth Sense. But I
well,
don't know.
I know Sixth Sense. I was before
I
that.
think he was in some before that.
Yeah. All right. I guess we could speculate, and we already did a little bit about how Robbie's going to factor into season 3. It sounds like
Osment.
that's what I said. Osment.
You were correct. I was thinking Osment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, he's. I mean, is he? We're assuming Netflix isn't going to cancel this thing.
I am 99. I can't imagine they would dump this one. It's pissing off Chuck Lorre, and it has serious award. It's gravitas, something that Netflix loves. The shit that they've been cutting.
They also love doing stupid shit. So,
but the stuff that they have been cutting, that may be fan favorite-y stuff, or not maybe like cult favorite-y stuff, is not the stuff that gets awards. Like, I personally was sad that the Drew Barrymore show was canceled.
mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. I thought it was really
Santa Clarita Diet.
Yes. I thought it was really picking up steam. Had a lot of star power. Drew fucking Barrymore. Jesus.
Yeah. Well done show.
Very well done show. But it wasn't getting any critical attention.
Because it's weird as fuck.
I loved the weird as fuck. You know that. That it's kind of my
All right.
jam.
Well, we still won't speculate. I'm not saying speculate on whether or not there will be a season 3. I'm saying speculate on what will be in season 3.
Ah.
That's what I was getting
The
at.
difference.
Yeah. But we have no idea.
And just for people out there who do not have the internet, he was in a TV movie in 94.
They can't possibly listen to this podcast if they don't have the internet.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And he was Little Forrest
Okay.
Gump.
Okay, we're moving on. And I did know that. Mm-hmm. I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did. All right. Let's move on to Madeline. I just want to say this first. She is significantly older than I am. But how the fuck does Jane Seymour look that good at that age?
She is playing older, number one.
Are you sure of that?
Yes, she talked about how liberating it was to be playing older. She's only like 70. And she was playing an 80-something-year-old.
Yeah. So she's,
which is weird, because
But
have
you
you
know what?
ever heard about 2 80-year-olds going horseback riding alone?
no.
The chances of breaking a hip are...
Okay. But what I'm getting at is, for 70, she looks
fucking great.
great. So is Madeline used as anything other than a tool to get Norman reconnected with his daughter? Or is the romance with them relevant at all to show that he's moved on from his wife? Which they really haven't shown, because he still talks to his wife.
I think he's shown that he's moved on from his wife a little bit. But I think you're right that by and large, her role is just to move the plot along and have him develop a relationship with Phoebe again. But it could also be because Kominsky has Nancy Travis's character, so why wouldn't Norman have a lady of his own?
Lisa. So the whole second season is back and forth and back and forth. They're off and on. They're off and on. They're hot and cold. The first episode of the season.
And the guy from Jag, where she's in the grocery store.
Yeah, that's the first episode of the season. She
should have stayed with that.
No, he was a tool.
So was Sandy at the end of the day. That guy's a hot tool.
Okay. Do you like her for Sandy?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
She's real.
She's real.
grounded.
She encourages a healthy relationship with his daughter
Yeah.
and loves Norman, gives him space to be a real normal person, isn't dragging him to Coachella or any of that shit.
All right, let's talk cameos. Awesome job by Kathleen Turner.
Yes.
Yes. Even better job by Bob Odenkirk.
Yes, Bob Odenkirk always
The whiskey
a
and
delight.
the gun in the desk drawer. Yeah, that was fantastic. Allison Janney was such a bitch, but just awesome.
She's the greatest ever.
Yeah. So I am going to play an impression.
Okay.
Maybe. It could be the real person. No, in this one, he actually says that he's doing an impression. So,
Okay.
so it kind of gives it away. But you have to guess who it is.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
who's doing the impression?
Exactly.
Okay.
And who it's of, which is pretty freaking obvious.
Somebody told me you do me. Is that right? Let me hear it. I said, I can't do you. He said, wait a second, is that me?
First off, who is...
It's Alan Arkin's, an impression of Alan Arkin.
Right. It's not. You want to hear it again?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay. Who is doing this impression?
Somebody told me you do me. Is that right? Let me hear it. I said, I can't do you. He said, wait a second, is that me?
No idea.
Kathleen Turner.
No.
No, it's not Kathleen Turner. It's Kevin Pollak.
Oh, he's a good impressionist. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Impersonator. Impressionist? Impressionist is the painter.
Impressionator.
Impressionator. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
No, I think it's a very good Alan Arkin.
It's a good to me at the end. You have to go high.
You believed me when I said Kathleen Turner.
Heck, we don't know. I haven't seen her in years. She could have developed her impression skills.
All right, that wraps up our discussion on season 2 of the Kominsky Method. In our description, please find a link to our Twitter account to leave any comments. And, of course, find a link to our YouTube channel. So, all right, we'll see you later. This is Hunt.
And Liz.
We'll see you next time.